Welcome to the Masterclass 2023 Season 2, and this is the first episode. So, today we're going to be looking at how you can design and create dynamic templates with ServiceDesk Plus. So, my name is Jainra John Xavier, and I'm a product expert for ServiceDesk Plus. And along with me, I have my two other colleagues, Aditya and Arun, who would be helping us out. Okay, so that's what we're going to be looking at today. So it's all going to be about templates, templates, and templates. We're going to see how you can configure and deploy dynamic templates. So I'm not sure if you have dynamic templates in your organization, but we are going to show you how you can create templates that change based on user input so that you are collecting contextual information. We're also going to see custom templates for various other practices like releases, problems, projects, and also templates for tasks, solutions, and so on. So we have a whole bunch of templates that we are going to be covering today. Okay, so let's start off with a quick story of Zilker. Now, Zilker is a growing tech organization. So those of you who were with us in our first season of this year's Masterclass, you must be pretty familiar with Zilker, right? So you know all the different challenges that Zilker went throughout the entire year and how they were able to overcome all of these challenges with a good ITSM solution like ServiceDesk Plus. So basically, so for those of you who are joining us just now for season 2, I just want to let you know that there was a season 1 where we went into depth into various ITSM practices, and those sessions again would be very useful for you. Adi could probably share the link of where you can access the previous season. So anyway, coming back to season 2, so we have Zilker, who's a growing tech organization with more than 10,000 employees, and they work in a hybrid model. And basically, they are trying to, make their ITSM process efficient. And these are the major challenges that Zilker is facing. The first one, you could break it down into delayed resolutions due to either incorrect assignment of priority or incorrect routing of tickets. So basically, tickets are not getting the right priority either due to lack of information or other, issues, and also tickets being routed incorrectly to the wrong technicians. Now, you know how annoying that can get or how difficult that can make things, right? Because in most organizations we have specialized technicians and we would want specific kinds of tickets being routed to them. So that was one challenge for them. Another challenge was the incorrect or inadequate data collection during ticket submission, and we all know what that leads to, right? Constant back and forth with technicians and requesters, where the technician is having to ask the requester, hey guys, please let us know what workstation you're using or what kind of service you could require. They might give you the basic details, but the specifics could be lost, right? And we all know how annoying it is when you have this constant back and forth. Next up, another challenge was Zilker did not have different types of changes, releases, or projects. Now, this is something that we covered in depth in season 1 when we were talking about change management. So why it's important to have different types of changes. And in Zilker, they didn't have the foundation itself, where they didn't use different kinds of templates to collect unique information. And finally, a lack of mechanism to collect contextual information. Remember how I was telling you, you can create dynamic templates. So this is where this challenge comes in. So they had no mechanisms to collect contextual information throughout the service delivery process. So now let's discover how ServiceDesk Plus Cloud is able to help Zilker technicians save time and effort by building dynamic custom templates. Starting off, like I've told you earlier, the major practices, right? Let's break it down into the major practices, which is incidents, service requests, and changes. So how can you configure custom dynamic templates for these essential practices? So now let's see how you can configure incident templates so in Zilker, basically, they're going to configure incident templates with appropriate sections, additional fields to ensure that they are collecting all the information they need right during ticket submission. So now these are all the different, features and functions available to you. So one, you can organize the entire form layout by adding custom fields and sections. You can associate technician and user groups to a template. You can customize the form views for different users, basically your technicians and requesters. And then using form rules, you can make your template dynamic. You can add tasks, you can associate checklists, and you can also connect automations like request life cycles and task dependencies. Okay, that's a lot of things on paper, right? Let's make it easier and let's look at how all of this looks within Service Desk Plus Cloud. So now let me jump into the product, and right off the bat we have our request home tab. So this must be a very familiar screen for you, right? This is where we have all our requests listed down. So now we are talking about templates, right? So how do we access our templates? Fairly simple. We go over to the admin tab, which is basically you click on setup, and over here we scroll down to templates and forms, and then we can select. So we can see a whole bunch of different templates, right? So we will be covering almost all of them in today's session. So now we're talking about incident templates. So let me go ahead and click on incident template. It immediately opens up all the different templates that I have already created. I'm going to go and click on new incident template. So the moment I click on this, so now my, my canvas has opened. So now customizing templates in Service Desk Plus is really simple and really intuitive because there is zero coding required. It's all a simple drag and drop canvas, and it's all done on the GUI, right? So there's no code level customizations required from your site. So this is fairly simple. Even a technician who does not have a lot of coding capability or knowledge can easily customize templates because it's a drag and drop. Okay, so this is currently how a default template looks like. If this is not appealing to you, or if it's not functional enough to you, you want to add a new section, just gonna go drag and drop new section, and just like that I have my new section. I can go add a name for the section. And but how do I add a field? Again, simple. You're just going to drag and drop a field. So there are a bunch of different fields available to you over here, but which you can just drag and drop. Let's say you want to add an email ID, you just drag and drop email ID, and just like that, your field has been added. And not only that, you have a bunch of other options as well, where you can, mark certain fields as mandatory, where certain fields which requesters can set or requesters can view. So just right now, if you notice at the top, we have something called technician view, right? So this is basically the view that a technician has. So I can make it a little simple for you, right? So let's say if you go to the bank and you're trying to fill up a form, there's certain sections that you fill up, and there will be a section at the very end which says for official use, where the fields are not relevant to you, but it is relevant to the banker itself, right? So similarly, a technician view can have every single field that is there in a template, like let's say the technician that is going to be assigned, the urgency, the priority, and so on. And the requester view is where you can choose to show the requester certain fields that are only relevant to them when they are creating the particular ticket using this template. So anyway, now we saw how you can drag and drop a field. Let's say you want to add a field, or you want to collect a very, very specific information that is unique to your business use case. And if it's not available out of the box, don't worry. We believe that one size does not fit all, and that is why we give you the ability to completely customize Service Desk Plus and your templates so that it is meeting your unique business requirements. So in this case, let's say you want to collect a very specific information, you just click on new, and you see a whole bunch of different fields are available to you. So do you want a field that is a single line or multi-line, numeric, email, phone, anything, right? So whatever kind of field you want, you can just drag and drop them over here. So when I drag the field, let me just drag it again. is going to immediately open up another view where I can, configure this particular field. So I can give this field a new name, and then it'll show up in my available fields once it has been created. And not only that, we also have the option to mark this field as a PII field, which is personally identifiable information, so that you are staying compliant with your regions or your state's data security and privacy laws. And you can also encrypt this field, specify this number of minimum and maximum characters, and you can go and save your field, and it will, after once it's been created, it will be available for you here under available fields moving forward. So this is how you set up your technician view. And if we scroll down, we see that you can associate this template to particular technician groups, and you can also choose to show this template to a requester. So only if you mark this, if you check this box, will a requester be able to access this template. So now you can also choose to show this particular incident template to specific user groups right from here, and you can restrict who accesses this template. So now let's go to another incident template that I've already created and show you what else is available for you. So in this particular incident template, I've created a whole bunch of different sections and fields that I am collecting from the end user. So this is the technician view. And now let me open the requester view and show you guys. So these are all the fields that I want to collect from my requester. So I've only added those fields over here. If there's any field that you want to add from the technician view, again, you can just drag and drop it into your requester view. So once you go and create the requester view, we also have a bunch of other options available. So one is tasks. So basically, let's say you have an incident template that is very, frequently occurring in your organization. Let's say just something as simple as a VPN issue. So whenever they create a ticket for VPN issues, you can create a template for VPN issues, and you can add the tasks right within your template, so that as soon as this ticket is being created, the tasks are also automatically being created. You can manage your task dependencies as well by clicking on the task dependency button to ensure that your tasks are being completed in a specific order. You can also allow your requesters to select tasks while creating the request from here as well. And you can choose to trigger the task manually, or on creation of the incident request, or on approval of the incident request. So next up, we have checklists. So basically, it's just like the name says, right? It's a checklist to ensure that you are doing the work properly, or if there are certain things for a particular incident that you need to check, you need to ensure is right. So you can create a checklist and you can associate them to the template from here. And finally, we come to form rules, which is the really interesting part. So this is what actually makes your templates dynamics. Dynamic, I mean. So basically, you can create condition-based actions where, based on the input from your end user, you can choose to perform certain actions like show field, hide fields, mandate fields, clear fields, set value, and so on. So there's a whole bunch of different actions that you can perform. So you can choose the field for which the condition needs to match. So let's say I can go select which field. Let's say if the category is a certain category, I can mark it here, and then if it matches the criteria, then it will perform the action. So now, okay, it sounds all good, right? It sounds might be a little complicated for some people, right? You might not exactly understand what this does. But now let me go and show this to you in action, and that will make things a little clearer for you. So now I'm gonna go over to my end user. So now I'm going to basically log into my end user. So this is a requester portal. So basically, this is your self-service portal. So this is where your requester can access your service desk. So this is how the medium through which they access. So this is completely customizable, and you can set it up the way you want. So anyway, let me go ahead, select on report an issue, and select my template, which is ERP issues. So now I've selected my template, and now we see that, let's just pay attention over here. So this is the only field available to me right now, right? So now let me go and select a date on when the incident takes place. And immediately it opens up another field for me. Let me go and give this detail as well. And then immediately it opens up a further field for me. So basically, based on your end user's input, you can choose to collect specific information from them, so that the bottom line is, when the end user creates their ticket, your technician needs to have, or is going to have, all the information they require to successfully resolve that particular ticket. And so that your technician does not have to call or contact your end user to get basic information about the ticket, so that the ticket can be resolved, right? So basically, these are all the different options available for you through with an incident. So now let's just go back to our template, and let me just show you the rest of the things as well. So additionally, you can associate a life cycle to your templates. So basically, you can go over to your life cycles, which is under automation. And then from here, you can associate your life cycle to your template. So if you go on, click edit. So over here, you have the option to associate it to a template. So once you associate a life cycle to your template, it's basically like establishing a standard operating procedure. So a life cycle basically ensures that your ticket is going through a certain flow, right? Through a flow between its statuses. So we will be looking at life cycles, workflows, and all the different automations in our future sessions. So please do tune in for that session, so that we go into depth into all the different automations available to you. So anyway, that's basically it for incident templates. So we saw how you can customize and build your own template, how you can create separate technician views, requester views. You can associate tasks right within your template, associate checklists, and also use form rules to make your templates dynamic. So now let's go back to our presentation, and let's see what's next. So the next template we're going to be looking at is a service request template, and talking about our favorite kind of service request, which is employee onboarding. You'd all know how annoying employee onboarding can get. Let's just maybe take you back to occasions where a hiring manager is creating a ticket for a new employee to be onboarded, but they fail to give vital information about what kind of employee they are. Maybe one of their contact details is not right, or they fail to inform your IT desk on all the different assets and services and software that needs to be provided for the employee. So how do you circumvent all of these? So by building custom service request templates, there are a bunch of different things you can achieve. One is, in Services Plus, we have a shopping cart like experience, where based on the assets or services you select, it can display the cost details for that entire service request. Additionally, you can showcase the required resources you need to deliver the service. You can configure multiple levels of approvals for the service request. And finally, you can set deadlines to ensure this service request is being completed on time. Again, let's jump back into ServiceDesk Plus and look at our service request template. So again, to access your service request templates, you just go down to Setup, click on Service Category, and then you have different categories over here. You can create custom categories. So basically, since we're talking about employee onboarding, I'm going to click on People Management and select Employee Onboarding. So you can basically create so this is where how you can create a service template and also edit it. So I'm going to open up a service template that I've already created, and I'm going to show you what's available to you. So similar to what we saw for incident template, we have the technician view and a requester view. So one common theme throughout all our templates is it's all simple drag and drop canvases, right? A sigh of relief, because you don't have to go and code any of these templates. So it's all simple drag and drop, and the UI is going to be very similar for all of these templates. So you'll have an available section, a new section where you can create new fields. You can associate life cycles again using the you can again associate life cycles from the life cycles under automation and associate it to a particular template. So anyway, these are all the different details that I'm collecting. So this is similar to what we saw earlier. We also have associate groups to templates to technician groups or user groups. And there is one additional option for us here, which is cost details. So when you click on the cost details, it will show the cost details for you in when you create the ticket. And you can also add a baseline for an employee onboarding, a service cost right over here. So these are mostly similar to what we saw earlier, but things get interesting when we get to resource info. Now, remember, I was telling you how there's a whole bunch of different details you need to collect when you're onboarding an employee, or even for different kinds of service requests in your own organization. So now for employee onboarding, I need to know the category of the new hire. Is it going to be a contractor? Is it a freelancer or a permanent employee? Get the basic details on my employee and also my asset details. So I can do all of this easily by creating these resource info fields. So I can add resource information, add a title and a description, and then choose either from existing questions or create a custom question. So I can create custom questions that are simple yes or no questions, check boxes, select boxes, or text boxes, and it's fairly simple. I can easily add them from here. So by using resource info, we can basically, make the form a little easier to, customize and navigate, because you can create all these, you can collect all these details under your resource information. So now I'm going to go and add all my asset details, like what the operating system of the asset or workstation could be, what the devices are, and any other peripherals I want. I can add them all over here under resource information. Now moving on to approvals. So basically you can configure up to 5 levels of approvals for your service requests. So employee onboarding, you can't just create a ticket and expect it to be done, right? There are multiple levels of approvals. So you will have a supervisor who is going to see if, first of all, this employee needs to be hired. They are going to check the assets that are going to be provided, and if it is going to be, if it is fine, and if they're going to approve it or not. So basically you can set up to 5 level of approvals depending on your unique business requirements, and you can configure them over here. You can automatically send approval notifications, you can also choose to assign a technician to the service request only if the service request is approved. And also you have the approval condition over here. You can choose anyone can approve, everyone to approve, majority, percentage, and so on. Now moving on to associated SLAs. So this is where you can specify the deadline by which this particular service request needs to be fulfilled. So you can come and associate different SLAs over here for your employee onboarding. So you could have different SLAs for a hybrid employee, for resident, for SLA, for a contractor, for a permanent employee, or even a freelancer. So you can add different SLAs based on the type of employee, or basically give options for how soon this service request needs to be fulfilled. Now task checklist and form rules are essentially the same that we saw earlier for incident template, but for form rules over here, I'm actually creating a whole bunch of different form rules that we saw in the incident. So I'm going to show you how this actually, how interesting or how cool this is, because based on the type of OS I select and so on, things and options will change. So anyway, now we saw all of this over here. Let's go ahead to the requester portal and see how a service request, the employee onboarding template behaves, and how it is collecting contextual information from me. So I click on people management, and I'm going to select the employee onboarding template. So over here, I can choose to change the SLA. So these are the different SLAs available to me. I can choose to change them from here. And now if I scroll down, we get all the basic ticket details, and we have our first resource details that I need to fill. Remember, these are the only fields available to me right now. But let me go ahead and click on contractor. So when I click on contractor, it is collecting these three information fields for me, right? Now, let's say I go and select freelancer. Let's see what happens. Now it's collecting different information from me. Now, when I select on permanent, it's collecting even different further information from me, right? So basically, you can change the kind of information you collect contextually from your end user. So now I can go give the name of my new hire, contact details, emergency. I can select the location, their department, and their role. And we get to the really interesting part where we collect the asset details. So now I can select which operating the OS they're going to use. So if I select Mac OS, it is going to show me all the different Mac OS devices that are available or that we are offering in the organization. And now let's say I don't want a Mac OS device, I want a Windows device. I select on Windows. Immediately it changes the list of assets that are available. So now you can also notice on the side that we have the total cost over here. So let me go select the Dell Latitude laptop, and it says $1,000, and it immediately shows up over here. And then I can choose the accessories of peripherals that I want to provide for my new employee. So I can go select the monitor and maybe a Wacom device and a wireless mouse. So it is quickly adding up all the total, and it's showing me that the total cost is $1,671. So now this information will also be sent to the approver so that they can take a look at the total cost and then take a call on whether they need to approve it or not. I can also go choose the other option over here if I want to give them a consumable. And just like that, it's done. So now we see how we are collecting contextual information. It's very intuitive. And you know what, it's not going to overload my end user with unnecessary information. Only contextual information is being collected. And we also have a shopping cart like experience, which makes it very easy to select the services that I want or the asset that I want to provide for my new employee. And also it shows the total cost of this entire service request. So fairly simple, right? So you see how you can use custom templates to build unique business use cases, right? To meet unique business use cases. And we also see how we can, streamline the entire employee onboarding process by getting the right information you need right during ticket submission. So now let's move on to the next process, which is change management. So we're going to see how you can bring your people, processes, and data together to implement changes effectively. So now again, coming back to Zilka, right? So now we're going to see how Zilka is going to systemize their change governance using custom change templates. Going back to Service Desk Plus, let's open up a change template. So again, we just go down to setup templates and then click on a change template. So this is how, again, the change template would look like. The customizer would look like. Same drag and drop canvas, but this time it's a little different because for changes, we have multiple stages, right? So you can actually go into each stage and you can customize each stage with fields that you want. So this again ensures that you're able to collect unique information for different kinds of changes. So you can create a major change, which is collecting specific kind of information. You can create an emergency change that does not overload the user with too much information so that you can quickly and easily implement an emergency change, and so on. So under each stage, you can add available fields or you can create new fields and add them. You can add new sections as well. Additionally, you can associate different tasks for each stage. So now if we move on to the planning stage, we see that we have the details that we can collect over here. You can add unique fields to collect further details. You can add fields for your details tab, your schedule tab, and like I said earlier, you can associate tasks within each change stage. So similarly, for each of the different stages, you can collect unique information, or you can even remove information that is unnecessary or add specific information that you want to collect. So basically, for each of these stages, you have this level of customizability. So now, again, it's fairly simple, right? It's just a drag and drop canvas. You can add what you want. So now moving on to roles. So anyway, so these are the different things that we will be seeing for the change. So one, customizing the layout, how you can build different templates for different change scenarios, how you're going to bring in the right change stakeholders, how you can connect your change templates with your change workflows, associate tasks under different stages of a change, and finally, how you can also allow your end users to create a change. So now coming back to the template. So under the submission stage, we have a field called workflow, under which you can associate a specific change workflow to this template. So we will be looking at workflows in detail in one of our future sessions. So just make sure you tune into that if you want to learn more about change workflows. So now going to roles. How do you loop in, or how do you bring in relevant stakeholders? So under roles, you can have, so there are multiple different roles available to you. So again, you can just drag and drop the roles right from here. You want to add a new role, you can just create the role from here by, clicking on new. So just drag and drop a new role, and you can add the role, and you can select the amount of privilege they have within the change. What are the different stages that they have access to, and what level of access? Is it only view, edit, and approve, or so those, all that granularity is available to you from here. So by associating a change approvers and different roles, you can bring the relevant stakeholders for different kinds of changes. So let's say it's an emergency change, right? You don't have too much time to wait around for a cab or anything, and you want all your really important people to be on board so that they can take an important decision to immediately implement the change. So in those cases, you can associate those users right within your change template, so that it makes things easier. Now tasks and form rules are basically, they just list down all the tasks that you have created and associated with this particular change template, and it is all listed over here so that it's easy for you to see all the tasks that you have created. It's not easy, right? Just clicking on each stage and then looking at each task individually. We knew that could be a pain, so we've given you this task tab where it is all neatly listed for you, and it will also show you which stage this particular task is being added to. So you can track them from here, and then you can move them between stages as well. There's one more thing I forgot to mention to you, is that each of these fields that we saw earlier under stages, right, you can move them between different stages just by clicking on this icon over here, and then you can choose to move it to a different stage, and also choose which section you want to move it into as well. Now coming back to form rules. For form rules are what we saw earlier for incident and service requests. It's basically condition-based actions based on user input. You can choose to perform a variety of different actions. And finally, under additional settings, you can choose to make this template available to specific user groups as well. So you can, so now your end users can also request a change, and create a change ticket if you deem it necessary. So these are all the different options available for you under a change template. Now moving on to the next part of the session, where we are building custom templates for your other supportive practices like release management, problem management, project management, purchases, and contracts. So let's quickly run through all of these different templates and see how much you can customize them on the different options available to you. So now we're going to see how you can customize your release templates. So we are going to see how Zilker is ensuring there is smooth deployment of builds with custom release templates. And they are ensuring that they are collecting all the necessary information when they are either creating their release ticket itself. So again, familiar screen where we have the same drag and drop canvas. So over here, it's a bit different from change, where you can't go and individually change each of the, fields under each stage, but you can, customize the general release ticket when you create the ticket itself, right? So over here, you can choose to collect different kinds of information. Like in this template, I'm choosing to create additional details of the release, like the services being affected, the assets being involved, CIs involved, and so on. So basically, I'm ensuring that I am collecting relevant information that I need to ensure that this release is being successfully rolled out. So again, drag and drop canvas, I can create new different kinds of fields from here. And under roles, similar to what we saw in change template, right? You can create different roles, you can create new roles, add them over here, and then you can associate users right within your release templates. So again, when we use templates, right, we talk about, frequently occurring issues like an incident that keeps happening all the time, or an employee onboarding template where you keep constantly onboarding or hiring new employees in your organization, right? So we have these templates for those kind of issues. So you can have a major release template, you can have, a standard release template, emergency release, and so on. So basically for different kinds of scenarios. So anyway, moving on, the task and form rules are essentially what we saw earlier for the other templates as well. So under additional settings, you can always choose to, manually trigger tasks or at different stages as well. So basically that's it for release templates. Fairly simple, easy to set up, and easy to ensure that you are collecting relevant information for your releases. So now let's go and look at the next template, which is problem templates. So how do you ensure that when you create a problem ticket, you are getting the information you need? So basically, again, it all boils down to one major thing, right? Flexibility. So we know organizations, one size definitely does not fit all. And we have customers from various different industries, various different verticalities, right? So if we give you a very static form, right, where you can't customize it, it makes it impossible for you, our customers, to collect specific information you need, and it makes it hard for you to tailor fit Service Desk Plus to your unique business requirements. So that is why we offer all of these different templates, so that one, you're able to collect relevant information, um, and you're able to build templates to fit your unique business requirements. So similarly for problems, we're going to see how you can build a problem template, and how you can associate automations like a problem lifecycle to your problem template. So going back into Service Desk Plus, we have our problem template. So again, just to ensure we are all staying on the same page, right? So all of the templates can be, you can access them from under setup, templates, and forms. So it's available for you here. So this is where I'm actually will be going, clicking on the problem template, and then I can create a new problem template. So I'm showing you a template that has been already created. If you want, like I said, want a unique, I'm sure it might sound very repetitive, where I keep telling that if you want to collect a unique kind of information from a end user or a technician for a particular process, you can create a field and just drag and drop them. But basically that's the most important part and essential part of creating these custom templates. So again, the same drag and drop canvas, you can collect all the details you need. The task and form rules are also very similar to what we saw earlier, wherein you can create form rules to make your form dynamic, or you can associate tasks right within the template, so that your technician does not have to go and manually create tasks over and over again for every single problem ticket or your other processes as well. And you can also associate a life cycle to a problem life cycle to your template as well. So that can be done by going to life cycles, select the problem life cycle, and you can associate life cycles from you can associate it to a template from within the life cycle. So this is where you go and do it. Fairly simple and easy to do. So anyway, this is how you can customize your problem template. So now moving on to the next one, which is your projects. So projects can be very, very useful when you're trying to implement large scale, changes, or, any large scale project, right? With project management, you can ensure that you are keeping tabs on your project, making sure you are properly progressing through it, and you're also ensuring that you're managing your resources properly so that the implementation is successful. Similarly, we see how Zilker is able to keep a track on its projects with custom templates and project roles. And additionally, how you can use milestones to measure the progress of your tasks, and so on. So let's go into Service Desk Plus and see a project template. So this is my project template that I'm going to show you right now. So again, drag and drop fields that you need based on your based on your business requirement, or if you don't have a field already available, you can just go ahead and create a new field. So this is where you configure the basic details that you're collecting for your project. Next is milestones. So this is where you can come and create your milestones so that it is already added to your project. So when somebody creates, or when a technician or a user creates a project using this template, these milestones, these tasks, and these members are automatically going to be added to the project, which makes things a little easier, where technicians don't have to manually go and do this over and over again, right? So under each milestone you can associate tasks as well. So if you look at a milestone, we can see the details of the milestone and tasks that are associated with this particular milestone. So similar to what we saw for changes and right, we have a task tab where you can see all the tasks that you have created and which milestone it is being mapped to. Additionally, you can also set your task dependencies over here. And finally, we have the members tab where you can add all the members that are relevant to this particular type of project, and you can add project roles for them over here, if they are being the project admin, a team member, and so on. So using these details, you can ensure that you are correctly getting the information you need. You're getting all your members into your project, and you're also ensuring that your technicians are not stuck doing repetitive tasks every time they have to create a project. So that is project templates. Now moving on to purchase order templates. So we're going to see how Zilka is managing the transaction of its various business teams easily, how they are, collecting all the information they need, and also recording all of it properly. So we're going to see using purchase order templates, you can generate site-based purchase orders, capture the relevant product service details, vendor details, factor in taxes, purchase costs, shipping costs, and more, and also how you can track your transactions with general ledger codes and cost centers. So now, so this is a purchase order template. So let me open it up and show you. Again, under templates and forms, under purchase order template, I'm going to click on the purchase order template. So you need to click on the edit icon over here for each section to customize it. You can create new fields and add it for each different section. And you can mark certain fields as mandatory as well, or show to vendor, and so on. And finally, you can also collect the details of your total, your discount, shipping cost, sales tax, and so on. So basically you can collect all of this information that you need. So these are so again, you can come and customize this based on your unique business requirements. So now let me show you a purchase order and see how the details are being collected. So this is a purchase order that I'm going to be creating. So let me go ahead and select a vendor. So I'm just going to select Dell over here and then choose specific details from here. Let's say if I want, California, it's going to add the address. So you can add all of this under customizations and set it up for yourself. And then if I go over to category and products, I'm just going to go and select a bunch of products that I'm going to associate with this particular purchase order. So now I can choose the tax rate. Let's say the tax rate is going to be 8% and quantity of, let's say, 5. It's going to automatically calculate the cost details from me here. So over here, I can add a discount if necessary, sales tax, additional tax, and so on. So basically all the information I need for a purchase order being easily collected. And if there's, let's say, the default information is not quite cutting it for you, and you need to collect, again, specific information, then you can go and add it under your template by creating a new field. So that's it for purchase order. Now let's go and look at our next template, which is contract templates. So we're going to see how by creating custom contract templates, you can capture your contract type, your vendor details, you can associate child contracts, relevant assets, software licenses, and also, the best part about contract management is you can configure expiry notifications and auto renewals of contracts. So how many of you here have, had, issues where you forgot to renew a contract, right? That's something you definitely don't want, right? So you can configure notifications so that when your contract is nearing expiry, it's automatically going to notify stakeholders that, hey guys, this contract is about to expire. We can either auto renew the contract, or we can create a ticket so that a technician can go manually and either renew the contract or create a new contract. So this is the contract template. You can again drag and drop the fields you need or create new fields if necessary. You can choose to collect information like the assets that are associated with the contract, the software licenses that are being associated. You can choose to, notify specific technicians when expiry is nearing. And you also have two options, like I told you earlier, right? One, you can do an auto renewal where it automatically renews the contract, notifies certain stakeholders, and you can choose the how the duration for which this contract is being prolonged. Or you can choose to create a request before expiry so that a technician can go and do it manually as well. And you can specify the days before the number of days before the expiry by which the request is being created. So that is a contract template. Let me just go and show you a contract as well so that it's easier for you to understand. So we have all the details being collected over here, and you can associate different assets and software license under here. So you can see that information over here. You can under the renewals tab, you can see if any renewals have been done on this particular contract. And under contract relationship, you can associate this contract with different contracts. So the parent contract for the Dell maintenance contract can be your annual maintenance contract in this case. So this is how you can set up your contract relationships as well. So this is the contract template. Now, let's move on to the next few templates that I spoke about earlier. So we have task templates, solution templates, resolution templates, and reply templates. Let's quickly run through them because we are almost running out of time. We just have a few more minutes to go. So let me quickly run through this as well. So now a task template. So like I was telling you earlier, right, it can get very annoying if you have to create a similar task over and over again for each ticket, right? So what you can do is you can create your task and add them to your template so that they are automatically being added to the ticket. Or what you can do is for very recurring tasks, you can create a task template and you can add it so that when you're trying to add a task, you can just select the task from the list of tasks that have already been created. So task templates, it's a quality of life improvement when you have a similar task that is being performed over and over again across different tickets, right? So you can create a task and create task templates over here. Next up, we have solution templates. So solutions basically are knowledge base, right? So when you are adding a solution, you can create different kinds of solution templates to collect different kind of information. So for a general solution template, I can choose this specific information that I need. But let's say I'm going to create a solution that, let's say I have a field that wants to mark if the solution is intended for technicians or for requesters. Then I can just go and select create a new field and add it over here, and then choose to collect information if the solution is meant for technicians or requesters. So that's just a very simple example, but yeah, you can create different solution templates so that you're based on the type of solution or the solution template it is, you can choose to collect different kind of information. Now, reply templates are very simple. So basically, you can choose a reply template from the available templates for you, so that You don't have to keep constantly typing a specific kind of message or email and send it to the requester. You can just select the reply template right from within your ticket. So again, that just makes it easier so that you don't have to do a repetitive task over and over again. It just makes it easier. You can just select the reply you want to send over, and it's done. And finally, we have resolution templates. So again, this is for a specific kind of resolution. So if you have a resolution that is very common, let's say for a VPN issue, and you don't want to keep typing out the same response to them over and over again, you can choose to create resolution templates, and you can just select the resolution you want to share with the you want to add under the resolution tab, and it's easily done for you. So let's just go over to request, and let me show you that real quick. Is going to go and create click on this incident ticket. If you go over to resolution, you can select one of the resolution template, let's say sluggish application, and just like that it does that. Again, it's a very simple feature, but again, can be a very quality of life improvement for your technicians, especially for the technicians who can relate with me, right? When you keep on typing out the same resolution for multiple people, or if you're having to copy paste it from like a notepad or something like that. So yeah, so these are all the different templates that are available to you in Service Desk Plus. I hope you learned something new today, right? So again, please ensure that you're taking all these features that are available to you, and I hope you're able to take it to your organization and use it in your unique business use cases. So now let's do a quick recap of all that we saw today. So we saw how you can streamline incident resolution by gathering relevant contextual information right during ticket submission. We saw how you can improve a process like employee onboarding by collecting vital information about the new employee, the assets that are going to be provisioned for the new employees. So it makes life easier for your technician to, properly deliver the services. And we saw how by you can customize your change templates to collect information that you need. You can bring your relevant stakeholders, your process and data into place. We saw how you can also create custom templates for your releases, for your projects, your problems, purchases, contracts, excuse me, and a bunch of other useful templates in Service Desk Plus as well. So now, before we just go ahead and close the session, there's just a couple of things I'd like to share with you. Please make sure that you use all the resources that we have available for you. Please do use our admin guide so that you can get more information on all the templates that we saw today. We have our release notes, which details all the new features, the new enhancements, the behavior changes that we are rolling out with each new release. We have a lot of product videos which goes into depth on what each feature or capability does. We also have a very active community where you can ask questions to our product experts and fraternize with your peers as well. Also, you can access our support portal at this URL, and as usual, you can feel free to write to us at hello@servicedeskplus.com. That pretty much brings us to the end of the session. Thank you all so much for taking the time to be here. Thank you for attending the first episode of season 2. We have a bunch of other episodes that are lined up for you, exciting episodes where we're going to be looking at different automations, different integrations, and so on. So please stay tuned for more information about the upcoming sessions. Once again, thank you all so much. Have a great day, and I hope to see you all in the next episode. Thank you very much.